All right, we're
Yo,
good.
welcome to another episode of the Talk Soon podcast. I'm here with my boy YG.
Yeah.
I'm here with my boy Frazier, aka Wild Takes,
Yo, yo.
and I'm Vince. Man, let's get right into it.
All right, we're gonna start off. We're just gonna recap week one really fast. Week one, Thursday night, we had Chiefs over Ravens, Eagles over Packers, Steelers over the Falcons, Bills over the Cards, the Bears over the Titans,
Stop there.
Patriots over the Bengals,
Patriots.
Texans squeeze one out versus the Colts, Dolphins over Jags, Saints blow out the Panthers, Vikings blow out the Giants, Chargers handle business versus the Raiders, Seahawks over the Broncos, Cowboys looked good versus the Browns, Bucks over Commanders, Lions over Rams, and last Monday Night Football, Niners look like midseason form and beat the Jets. Boys, how are we feeling? What was your biggest surprise in week one? Vince, I'll let you take it.
Yeah, so I'll kind of do my recap and what my biggest surprise was. I think I'm going to go out here and say that this might not be, I wouldn't call it a reach, but I actually expected more from the Jets. I expected a lot more from the Jets. I had them winning that game. Um, and you saw flashes, right? Like I think that first drive that they put together against the Niners was pretty good, but overall, I expected more from that Aaron Rodgers led offense. Maybe it's too early. I'm sure they'll get it together, but I was definitely surprised by that. And then on the flip side, I'll say I didn't expect the Bears to go down 17-0 or whatever it was to the Tennessee Titans. But happy we were able to pull out the win in that game. Um, Trying to think what was some other surprises or what I thought about from week one. Oh, shout out to Justin Fields, man. I'm happy my boy was able to get a dub.
Look at you.
Yeah.
Man, happy my boy was able to get a dub against what I think many believe is going to be a pretty good Atlanta Falcons defense. Interesting out there in Pittsburgh. I wish they was able to get Brandon Ayuk. I think if they were able to get Brandon Ayuk in a trade, the Steelers would have had a real good shot at the AFC North. But happy to see Justin get a win and trying to think. Oh, and I guess in the early games, Eagles offense looked like it can be dangerous with Barkley back there. I won't take too much shine from that, but yeah, I was hoping the Bears was able to get Barkley. They didn't. He's in Philly, and he definitely looks like you all's version of C-Mac. So I think that's my biggest takeaways from week one.
Frazier, I know what you're gonna say.
My biggest takeaways, starting with as Vince said, is Aaron Rodgers and the Jets. Like they were so hyped. But I watched that game and I saw Aaron Rodgers trying to run and scramble out, and he's not the Aaron Rodgers of the Packers from back in the day. That was his best thing. Like what did he do best? He extended plays, right? He can't do that with the Jets. He's older. You got the injury. You coming straight off the injury. Like you just can't do that. And you know how it is at their field. It's he got injured at their field. So we'll see how what happens week 2. But that was one of my biggest surprises. Sauce went down, and I don't know if he was hurt or if he was just frustrated. They just took him out. Their defense looked totally like crap. And then for the 49ers, like having, what was it, Mason out there just killing it, like just running all over. Like it was crazy. Like,
System running back.
hey, Christian McCaffrey might be system, dog.
Let me chill.
Nah. Also,
Wild takes, boy.
of course, my Patriots, dog. Everybody's counted us out, man. -8, -7. It was Patriots ain't got nothing. I watched a bunch of podcasts where they were like, the Patriots have no chance. They get blown out. They're going 0-17. They might win one game, but that's against maybe the Dolphins or something. What did we do? We came out there and took what we wanted. Christian Gonzalez, like I said before, gonna be the best corner in the league. I don't want to hear it. Don't say nothing else. He's gonna be the best corner. He could have been rookie of the year last year. That's what my takes are. That's me. That was mine. What you got, G?
I got my biggest surprise of the week was the Saints. I know they played the Panthers, but man, they were just 47.
I agree.
That was crazy. I was like, what are the Saints on right now?
Yeah.
I actually think I took the Panthers with the points, like looking at the spread because it was a weird looking spread. But man, Derek Carr balled out. The Saints look great at home. Maybe they'll be a threat in the NFC South, and they didn't even cross my mind. You know, Carr's like one of these up and down guys. If he has one of these years where he had a year about, I want to say 9 years ago where he had almost an MVP season.
9 years.
I'm just saying, if he reverts back
vintage
to that,
years, the vintage
look,
years.
he had like that one season before he broke his leg. If he gets back to that, and now we're looking at the Saints, like, okay, they'll be a threat for the NFC South. And second, this is gonna surprise you guys, but the way Hurts played surprised me. With all them weapons and all them everything the Eagles got, Hurts needs to play better. And I was surprised that he made them rookie mistakes week one. And maybe that's part of the Eagles not playing preseason every year. I don't know, but he needs to tighten up because us scoring 34 with a D- game from Hurts is, to me, that's scary. So he needs to tighten up. So I was surprised of Hurts' mistakes that he was making in week one.
Yeah.
Next topic we'll go over new segment, tweak of the week. Tweak of the week. This is an easy one to me. C-Mac, man. Number one in all the drafts, fancy drafts, and the guy doesn't play. He's already announced out week 2. So that is our tweak of the week here on Talk Soon. I don't know why I'm smirking. It's not funny. We don't laugh at injuries. Why are you laughing, Frazier?
I can't help it, bro.
But hopefully C-Mac gets healthy. It seems like it's a lingering issue with his Achilles, right? Achilles calf.
Yeah, so I think it's a combo.
Hopefully he gets better.
And next we have the Thursday night game. Prayers to Tua. But Bills looked back on track. What are your thoughts on the Thursday night game, Frazier? I'll let you start.
I mean, what else can I say? Every time they play the Bills, they just can't beat the Bills. I don't care what anybody said. Like, they just can't beat the Bills. The Bills play zone. They lock up Reek. They lock up Waddle. They try to throw underneath so they can get some, breakaway speed type plays, but it doesn't work. The little screen stuff don't work. They ran this one concept of a play where they motioned like a player over, and then the fullback like went through the middle, but then they ran it with Achane like every time. Like, they did that probably like, I don't know, maybe like 9 times on the other night, right? They got a good amount of yards. Like, it's a great play. It looked like it was hard to stop, but as soon as the Bills learned how to shoot the gap, it looked like Madden out there. Like, just double mug, just yeah. So, yeah, I mean, it was a good game. I hate what happened to Tua or whatever. It could have probably been a 2-score game if Tua doesn't, go down at the, particular moment. I love what Achane did. He out there balling, doing his thing. He looks like he's going to be the powerhouse of the NFL coming soon. But the Bills, man, thinking like them having all those injuries and stuff, you would think, okay, I think they were down like four different positions on backups or whatever, and you would think like, oh, it's gonna be a terrible defense, this and that. They came out and showed out. They balled out, and Josh Allen looked like he don't need Diggs. He looks like it is what it is. He's just Josh Allen. This is what he does. So yeah, shout out to the Bills, man.
Vince.
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of piggyback off of what Frazier was saying. You guys know how I kind of feel about Josh Allen and the Joe Burrow and things like that. And I know that Josh didn't have to do a bunch of things in that game because James Cook was just having the game of his life with 3 touchdowns. But I do think that Josh Allen is going to be an early candidate for MVP this year. You can tell that he's playing with a fire or an edge now that Diggs isn't there. And man, Buffalo's defense looks like it's one of the better ones in the AFC at least. I totally forgot that they still had Von Miller, and he was definitely all over the place on Thursday. And as it relates to the Dolphins, before I talk about the injury to Tua, which sucks, they have no run defense. I think in our chat, we were making jokes. I know it's all jokes and fun, but I think somebody made a comment about the Bears don't have run defense because Tony Pollard had 80 yards, or the team had maybe 100. No, the Dolphins don't have any run defense, and I think that's very apparent. And I think teams are going to take advantage of that, right? I think that they like to play with speed and things like that. And I think teams are going to try to just overpower them, kind of just like how Buffalo did on Thursday. And as it relates to Tua's injury, my first thought was, yeah, he probably needs to retire because you just don't want to see a guy, constantly have those type of concussions or go through those type of injuries on the field. But then part of me was like, man, if that dude wants to continue to suit up, that's football, man. It sucks, right? Like CTE, head injuries, concussions, all that shit sucks. And prayers to anybody that that gets those head injuries or those type of concussions. But man, you know what you signed up for, right? It's football at the end of the day, and if he gets out of this concussion protocol and he says, hey, you know what? I still want to go be the quarterback for the Miami Dolphins, then by all means, man, let the man go do that. And I don't even want to, I don't even want to put retirement on him because it's like if I was in that situation and I wanted to play, then shit, let me play. So, prayers to him. Hopefully he makes the right decision for him and his family. But I'm not gonna put retirement on him if he does want to play. So those are my thoughts.
Let me ask you this, Vince. If you're a doctor, are you clearing him?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to look for in terms of
just as far as like, hey, you get one more, it could be really bad.
That's a great question. If I was a doctor,
obviously we're not doctors. We don't know the
right. No, I get you. If I was a doctor, I would tell them stop playing football. Right?
Yeah. All right. I was just making sure. I'm with you there.
It's like I don't want to see you keep fingers all twisted up and shit and all of that. So just I would tell them to stop, but obviously I'm not, so I don't have a say in that.
All right. My takeaways from that game, McDermott is kind of figure out the Tyreek thing, man. He's just low high. You're not beating us, and somebody else is gonna have to make a play. Waddle. Dolphins never throw their tight ends. I mean, but when you're playing that defense, you see guys like A-Chain. The holes they're running through are wide open. So that's the downfall. But when you start tightening up and stopping the run, and he's looking at Tyreek and nothing's there, the Bills figured it out. So shout out to Sean McDermott, defensive-minded head coach. So great scheme he put together versus him, and a nice win for the Bills. And I do agree on your Josh Allen take. Early MVP candidate, playing with a chip on his shoulder with them young receivers.
Yeah.
And Kincaid is going to become his veteran over there now. Man. Moving on to week 2. So we're just going to highlight a few games that we like and then tell you guys our locks for the week. First game we're going to review is Saints at Cowboys. That spread is 6.5. Obviously, Cowboys are the favorite. This is my lock of the week. I like the Cowboys minus 6.5. As much as I praised the Saints last week for their week 1 performance, I think Derek Carr comes back down to earth. I talked about the Cowboys defense a little in episode 1. I think no one's really talking about their defense. It's all about Dak and CD. That's all you hear. And Zeke's wash. But, hey, they're going to have a top 5 defense more than likely. And I think that shows on Sunday, and they're in Jerry's world. Not going to get too long-winded on it, but give me the Cowboys minus 6.5 for my lock of the week. Vince?
So we're doing locks of the week right now, or are we just talking
that was my lock of the week because it was the first game on our.
Gotcha. That game is tricky, man. The Saints, like you said in your recap, they looked impressive. I know it was Carolina, trash Carolina. That you don't know what the hell is going on out there, but I think the Saints. I think the Saints can keep it close. Maybe not within that 6 because the Cowboys do have defense, but I also feel like the Cowboys played a Browns team that just didn't have a quarterback that's there, mentally. I don't know if it's because of the allegations, and they're going to have a good defense regardless, but I do think that the Saints will pose a tougher challenge than what the Browns did. But yeah, I agree with everything you said about them having the top 5 defense and playing lights out, but I do think that it won't be a similar showing to what they did to the Browns last week.
Reggie?
Man, honestly, I believe this is a harder game to kind of go off of. I mean, that 6 is a little scary. I just don't know. Derek Carr did great, but it was against the Panthers. They have nothing on offense, nothing on defense. Then you have the Cowboys who look terrible on offense, but their defense look immaculate. So it's what are you gonna get? What are you gonna get from Dak and them boys on offense? And being paid, what he got paid, MCD, what are you gonna get from them boys? Are we gonna get 3 years ago Dak Prescott? Or are we gonna get new and improved Dak Prescott with this contract and just a baller.
That's a great point.
CD. Are we gonna get them people? Like, we're gonna get somebody who actually gonna go out there and win a playoff game. I know it's too early to be talking about playoffs, but are we gonna get somebody like that?
Not with the Cowboys. I agree with you. That's a great point.
Yeah. And then on the flip side, it's like this. I mean, you got Olave, you got Kamara, you got Derek Carr. They're probably gonna have Diggs, trailing, Olave around the field and stuff like that. But you got a couple other people. You got Snead. You got a couple. I just don't feel like their offense is good enough to beat the Cowboys' defense. So I'm going with the Cowboys.
That's fair. And to answer your question, I think, and I hate to praise the Cowboys, makes me sick, but I think Dak has proved himself at home in the regular season. That's kind of why I like them. They looked high-powered at home all year last year. Mm-hmm. So I think that continues. Next game, we got Bucks 7.5 at Lions. Pretty wide spread. So that means the books are thinking the Lions might run away with this one, but maybe some type of backdoor cover. Obviously, I like the Lions straight up. I wouldn't touch it if I was betting the spread. But Lions didn't look that impressive week one. Goff just looked like just a guy. And the Lions fan we have on our pod isn't here. And I'll tell them, if that's the Goff you're going to get the whole season, you guys aren't going anywhere in the playoffs. I'll tell you that right now.
At all.
And you never know with Baker. Baker's just one of them wild card guys that will come out and throw 4 touchdowns like week one, and you're just like, what just happened? But I think Lions handle business pretty easy here. Vince?
Yeah, this is a tough game. I do think that there's a possibility the Lions could run away with it late. I don't think it'll be like one of those games where it's a blowout the entire time. And I guess I'll take the Lions and to win it. However, what I will say is, yes, they didn't look that great last week. I think in the end, they caught the benefit of the doubt of getting the ball in overtime, right? And they are a power team, right? So more than likely, if you go against a team like Detroit and you just play 4 grueling quarters, yeah, they're gonna run down your throat, no Diddy, and
hold up.
they're gonna run the ball in those situations and ultimately win the game. I don't think that they'll push around the Bucks like that, and I think that they'll have to be a little bit more creative offensively outside of just power run game and play action to beat the Bucks or to beat a top Bulls defense. So I'll take the Lions squeaking out a 3 to 6 point win. I don't see them covering though.
Right.
Lions at home, like, what you probably gonna get from them, but I don't know. I'm actually, if I was taking spread, I think I'm taking Bucks in this one. I just feel like Mike Evans is probably gonna have a show. Like he's gonna go off. Like they don't have no answer for him. Baker's gonna just do what Baker does. He might. I got a feeling Baker might throw a pick. So if you want to take over 0.5, picks for Baker, then take that. But yeah, I don't know. Like you said, Detroit don't look that good. Like if they play like this and like can't make a playoff spot where they're the home team and they have to go outside and play somebody, they're not winning anything in the playoffs. So yeah, give me with the spread, give me the Bucks 7.5. Need it.
That's fair. Next game we're going to talk about Bengals at Chiefs. It's a 5.5 point spread. Vince, I'll let you take this one first.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm tired of the Joe Burrow Bengals hype. I'm tired of Jamar Chase. He's always angry. He always talking as if the Bengals. And I know they had success early on. They went to the Super Bowl, lost to the Rams, but since they've been on the decline. Joe Burrow has fought injuries. I think they didn't make the playoffs last year, and but leave it up to Jamar Chase. They're the best in the AFC, and I get it, right? You definitely want to. You got to speak things into existence, and you got to you want to stay positive, but. I don't think right now the Chiefs are even thinking about the Bengals, right? Like how the Bengals think about the Chiefs. Sure, it might be a rivalry in the Bengals' head, but Pat Mahomes got 3 rings, and I don't think he's studying the Bengals. So, and as it relates to this game, I like the Chiefs in a blowout, 14+. I think with T. Higgins fighting that injury, Jamar Chase missing all of camp. It's going to take them a while to get into the swing of things. And in the loaded AFC, it might be a little too late by the time they figure those things out. Give me Kansas City in a rout.
Reggie?
Yeah, I'm with Vince on this one to piggyback. Like, I just feel like Kansas City is about to blow them out. I wouldn't say 14. I would say 10 plus at least. I mean, at minimum 10. But yeah, like the Bengals, they don't have it right now. Like they went to the Super Bowl, yes, but looking at it like there was that a couple years back, that's not the same team. That defense that they had back then was stellar. Like that was a defense that was crazy. Like that's what got them to the Super Bowl. I know Chase and Burrow put up numbers and stuff, but that defense held them over to make it to that Super Bowl. So they don't have that defense anymore. I feel like it's going to be a blowout by 10 points. And also, expect Worthy to get that anytime touchdown. Just putting it out there.
Nice. Oh yeah, they did say all he could do is run straight.
Thank you.
Usually when that happens, the player scores next week. Maybe I'm crazy, but I like the Bengals with the points. I did take Ravens week 1. I was wrong on that, and I feel like someone probably thinks I'm a Chiefs hater. Keep going against them, but they do play the Chiefs tough. But you guys did make some good points. Burrow needs to be better. He hasn't looked like the Burrow we saw from that Super Bowl year a few years back. So that's a great point. It is in KC. Don't love that. I wouldn't bet on this, so don't bet just because I said take the Bengals plus the 5.5. But they just play them tough, and nothing I would be confident in. I don't want to get too long-winded on that game, but the Chiefs are the Chiefs, and they already look bowl-bound after week 1, as much as I hate them. Next game we'll get on the slate, and I'm going to let Frazier start this one first. The Bears plus 6.5 at the Texans. What you got?
Oh man. Can I throw something in there before this?
Yeah, go ahead.
Something I meant to say earlier when we were talking about I felt that the Texans last week could have did a lot more than what they did because their defense didn't look right. And I felt like the Colts were like one of those sleeper teams that I didn't expect anything from, but they came out there and showed that they want to be here. So shout out to them. As far as this game, man, we've got Vince's boy, Caleb Williams, Mr. Painted Nails.
He's my boy.
Mr. Painted Nails. He probably gonna come out there with some brown nails with. I mean, the man could ball. Don't get me wrong, he could ball. He just all that stuff he did in college. It's not gonna work in the NFL. These people are faster. They're stronger. They're not gonna take it, bro. Like DeMeco's gonna sit here. I'm not trying to hate. I'm just saying DeMeco is gonna put out a game plan to take on a rookie quarterback. He's gonna look what Tennessee did last week. Or whatever is all y'all. I mean, I don't know if they have all their receivers. I know they had something with Doomsday having a problem or something. I don't know if he's playing or not. But it's hard for me to say the Bears when the Texans did what they did last year and they're coming in. They don't look as good, but they're like the team. Like they're at home. It's about to be one of those games. It's primetime football. Caleb's primetime game. Like, can he get it done in the big spotlight in Houston, Texas? You going to that game, Vince. You know what it's going to be. It's going to be rough for that man. But give me the Bears, dog. Give me the freaking Bears, man.
You did all that hollering about the Texans, and you take the Bears.
Give me the Bears, bro. I just feel like
this guy, man. Go ahead, Vince. You disgust me, Frazier.
I'm sorry.
You disgust me. Made all the points for the Texans, and you go and take the Bears.
That's wild takes. This might be Caleb's breakout game to show that he needs to be here in the NFL. He's going to do his thing. I just feel like the defense I saw from the Texans wasn't that great. Like, sooner or later, the Texans are going to have to start passing the ball to all these different receivers, and somebody's going to get mad that they can't get the ball, right? I just feel like that's going to happen. Like, so I like the Bears personally, but if I was betting, I ain't touching it. I'm out. I'm out.
Vince, talk about your mob. What you got, man? We know you're taking the Bears. Let's talk about it.
The Bears.
The Bears.
This game is. I had this game circled as an L before the season started. Texans. They made the playoffs last year. They won a playoff game. C.J. Stroud looked like top 5 or 10 quarterback. DeMeco got the defense humming. But after last week, the Bears, and what the Bears did in that showing against the Tennessee Titans, where they, as you guys let me know in the group chat, only mustered up 150 yards of offense and didn't have an offensive touchdown. Uh, I think that the Bears probably will lose this game. I think that the offense is, from what I saw last week, it's going to take time, right? You got a rookie quarterback, you got a new offensive coordinator, two new receivers in Keenan Allen and Rome Odunze, amongst the other, acquisitions and things like that, like Swift. And so I think the Bears are still trying to find out what their full identity is as a team offensively. Not to mention that we definitely have some issues in the interior, where with the guard in the center, to the point where I think that it might take a few weeks for us to figure it out offensively. However, we do have a top five defense. I've been screaming it all season, and I think that top five defense will keep us in the game at least in the first half. But the Texans are more sound offensively as a team because they've just been together. They added Diggs, they added Mixon, where I think that they take off late, and they can maybe win the game by 10 points and let's not cover the spread. No, the season won't be over with. Sure, I'll hear all the Bears sucks or whatever, especially if we don't have a good offensive showing. So that's my logical pick, right? But the second I step up in the fucking field Sunday night football, I'm gonna be screaming and typing in the group chat, Bears money line, bitch.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so give me on the pod. I'm gonna definitely give me the Texans by 10, put it away late. 7, a field goal at the end. Bears maybe in the game on a 3 and out. But I think as the season progresses, we'll do better. But I think we'll lose tomorrow night.
Yeah, I'm with you there, Vince. I like the Texans. I'm just worried about Caleb's receivers now. Odunze and Keenan Allen, they're probably both out, right?
Oh no! So
Is
Keenan Allen's just old. That's
Yeah.
really
is he going to play? He didn't practice, right?
He didn't practice, but
he didn't practice at the Chargers either. Like he never practiced.
I know he's always
he just old, and then
he just come out there and play.
Rome Odunze, he actually practiced yesterday, and from what he said, he feels good. No Diddy, geez, Louise.
Wow,
that was crazy. But from what he said, he's fine. I have a feeling they'll rule him out because it's early in a 22-year-old receiver's career. No need to kind of risk it. But I don't see anything long term for him.
Yeah, that's what worries me in the game. Just Texas defense didn't look good week 1. D'Amico is going to tighten that up week 2.
Yeah, I do think the Bears will have shots though. I think Ant Richardson, and I didn't mean to hijack your.
How you good?
Your part, G, but the Texans. I mean, the Colts had opportunities last week. I think Adonai Mitchell was open at least 3 times for
man.
And I think if the Bears can figure out a way to exploit that, man, who knows, right? But like you said, D'Amico is probably going to tighten things up on the defensive side, and they know that they're going against a team that has, even if the offense isn't there yet, I think D'Amico knows that they're going against a team that has the weapons, and they'll tighten up.
Yeah, I think what I want to see more from Caleb, maybe scramble a little more, because we saw AR get out of the pocket and rush on the Texans. I think he got about 50-plus yards, so maybe Caleb uses his legs and scrambles more and makes it a tough game for that Texans defense. But yeah, give me the Texans here. It's a tough one for the Bears, week 2, prime time in Houston.
Sure.
Make sure he scrambles north and stop scrambling backwards and trying to spin out of stuff.
He's got that arm. He's got that arm.
It don't matter. All that stuff he did,
To piggyback on your take, I do think that Caleb will be able to do some of the things that he did in college. I know that first week, against Tennessee, it didn't look like he could, but like I said, the center and the left guard were getting demolished all game.
Tennessee defense kind of too.
I mean, he definitely has defense. If you look at the roster, they got Landry, they got Simmons, they got Diggs. They should have had Jamal Adams out there. They got Snead from the Chiefs.
They
So
cut fairly, I think. Yeah,
I mean, I think he only got sacked twice. He just had the one sack that looked bad because
That was a
man,
real
he
bad
rolled back.
I
Like
mean,
10,
but
12,
that's
15
rookie
yards.
stuff, so that's going to happen. But if he
Oh,
cleans
yeah.
it up a little bit, they'll be all right down the line.
He ain't
Last
Bryce
game
Young.
on the slate we're going to talk about is my Birds, the real Birds versus the Falcons. Eagles are home Monday night, -6.5 versus the Falcons. Give me the Eagles. Give me Barkley anytime, and I also like Kyle Pitts anytime in this game. We do struggle over the middle, but I will say this: the Eagles linebackers look really good last week, like to the point where Devin White, you might not even be starting. Bond and Nakobe Dean showed up week 1, and that was one of the weak points in the Eagles defense last year. No linebackers. So if the pass rush can get there, big question mark. The Eagles will be a really good football team and hard to beat. I think they handle business. They usually do versus Kirk. We kind of own that guy, and it is a primetime game, and that Kirk doesn't win on primetime. And I was telling my brother, eventually he's gonna beat us, right? And he's like, nah, we're not losing to Kirk, and especially not primetime. I'm with it, man. I think that's another guy who's gonna throw a pick Monday night. That's all I got on the game. I don't want to get too long-winded. Vince?
yeah, I think I know it's early. It's only week 2, but from what I saw week 1, after I got to watch the highlights of the Falcons and Pittsburgh game, and from what you just said about the Eagles and their run defense looking like it could be something with the linebackers, this is a turning point for the Atlanta Falcons because from what all I've seen, Kirk is still dealing with, or the injury from last year is still lingering.
Right.
And when you draft a quarterback, right, that soon, when you already had Kirk Cousins in place, if he comes into this Monday night game and he struggles like he did against Pittsburgh, maybe 1 or 2 picks, questions might arise, right?
They will.
And
No, they definitely will.
I think that the Falcons might be at a point because I think they're going to get blowed out on Monday because Kirk is definitely still hurting, and if they can stop Bijan and the short attack, I think that the Eagles will run away with it, and there'll be questions about whether or not they want to bring in Michael Penix Jr. So yeah, but give me the Eagles easily.
Yeah, I'm with y'all on this. Give me the Eagles, man. Eagles linebackers do look immaculate right now. I just don't see it from Kirk. Like Falcons have a squad, but it's just like you said, Kirk just can't win on primetime, and he just looks like he got that injury lingering still. It just looks scary. Like I didn't really see too much from Bijan either. I mean, besides Kyle Pitts getting the 1 touchdown or whatever, but like I just don't think that they can go out there and beat the Eagles at the Eagles and claim that they are the real Birds. Like I just feel like the Eagles are over the Falcons, just like so. Yeah, give me the Eagles. I don't know if I want to take. I don't think I want to take the spread. I think I want money line. I think it'll be a closer game than what we think, but I think the Eagles. I think the Eagles win by probably 4. Give me something like 21-20 or 20-24, something like that. Like right around that area.
That's fair. All right, and finish up the episode 2. I'll just go over my picks. I did say Cowboys -6.5. That's my lock. I like Barkley anytime, and I like Pitts anytime. That's my plays for the week. We may do a DFS segment after this. Chuck and I may stay on after this if you guys want to hear about some DFS, a quick episode of that. But this week, Vince, what do you got? What plays do you like?
Yeah, this week, give me Baltimore in a straight blowout against
The Raiders.
the Raiders. I think that the Raiders won't be as bad as they will look in this game. I think that they got Crosby, they got Adams for now, they still got Jacoby Myers,
Wasting their careers.
but I do think that the Ravens are probably steaming a little bit from the loss to Kansas City week 1 when they had a chance to potentially win or at least go to overtime.
Good point.
They're at home, and I think that they're going to put it on. They're going to put it on.
Old Minshew.
On Minshew and the Raiders in a blowout. So give me the Ravens to win that game by at least, I say 3 scores, but you never
alt
know.
Spread? Got an alt spread we could bet?
We might have to do alt spread, man. I think they're on most
-13.5.
Oh, I love that. I love it. 2+ scores. They lost to the Chargers by 2 scores, didn't they?
Yep.
Yeah. And then other than that, off the top of my head, trying to think. Oh. No, I think that I don't have anything else right now. I love the Ravens with Ravens spread.
Gotcha. Frazier?
So I got two. I love the Colts versus the Packers. You know, I love that game. Just that -3. It seems like it's a little too like from what they did last week and them going in there against no Jordan Love to play the Packers. Like, what are y'all doing? -3? Like it smelled like trap game, but give me Colts -3. And then also I love, even though it's a division game, I love the Cardinals over the Rams. I don't know why. At -1, I love the Cardinals over the Rams. And for the prop, give me Marvin Harrison for 1 tutty. He's gonna get it going this week.
I like that.
James Conner's gonna go crazy. I just feel like without Puka Nacua, like they're gonna key in on throwing the ball to the man, the myth, the legend. We all know who he is. But at the same time, like once you guard him and you cover him, like they take him away, right? If they take away Kupp, right? What do y'all have? Like I just don't see that them having anything else. Like Tyler, like whatever. Like they didn't look good to me the other day either.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I just feel like Arizona looked like they got something. And if Kyler was making reads, they definitely would have won that game against Buffalo. Like he had Marvin Harrison open about three or four different plays, and he's so short he can't see him. Like he can't see over the offensive line. He's looking like he's jumping to throw the ball and stuff. Like it's crazy. But if he sees Marvin Harrison, I'm telling you, it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be a crazy day. Give me Arizona.
And I just remember my second lock. I'm sorry, it's the Kansas City Chiefs. I know it's two favorites. I know that may not even sound like a lot saying Ravens and Chiefs, but I think people are going to be a little weary of giving the Bengals that many points, especially coming off a loss. But I think that's just one you don't even have to overthink because you got Xavier Worthy, you got Isaiah Pacheco, who, in my opinion, I'm not sure why we don't talk about him being maybe a top 5 to 10 back because when he's on the field, he's a game changer. He don't stop moving. Those feet, knees are always running high, and he's always running hard. So, and I just think the Bengals are living in the past. And no training camp for Chase. Is Higgins out? Is he playing?
Higgins is out.
Yeah, he's out.
I'm not sure even why the spread is only 6. You know, if anything, that's what worries me.
It's weird.
It's a trap game.
That's kind of.
Sometimes you can't overthink it. Chiefs.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to put it out there.
That's fair. I don't disagree with any of you guys' picks. Actually, I like everything I heard there. There was no wild takes. So we'll end episode 2, boys. Great podcast, and we will be back shortly with a DFS segment, and there'll be 2 different uploads on our YouTube. That's all we got. Talk soon.
Talk soon, dog.
Hey, Vince, you gotta make sure when I end this.